Joining us now is Jan Morgan, pro-gun advocate and the Gun Cave owner. Gun sales, Jan, off the roof, through the roof, I should say. An unbelievable rise there. To what do you attribute that?
Well, of course they're on a rise, and they're going to continue to be on a rise until we do something about ISIS in this country. Look, people are afraid, Sandra. They do not trust this administration to protect them. And who blames them? What kind of government is more concerned about appeasing Islamic terrorists than they are protecting the constitutional rights of the American citizens?
So do you have evidence of that mindset of someone who's saying, who's looking at this horrific attack and then hearing the politicians talking about enacting more gun control and more gun laws, and that really is the mindset? People say, I'm fearing that my rights may be taken away from me, so they go buy a gun. Is that happening? And not just fear of losing the right, Sandra. It's also just fear in general of terrorism out there, of not being able to defend their lives. And here's an interesting side note. The largest group of people buying guns right now in America is women. Women are buying guns. I've trained over 8,000 people across the United States over the past year. I'm a state police certified firearms instructor, and a majority of those people taking those classes are women. And interestingly enough, they're also seeking concealed handgun permits. They're not just wanting a gun to have in the home for self-defense. They're wanting a permit to carry a gun to protect them when they're out in public places. Do you advise that for a new gun owner to get a carry permit? I mean, somebody that you're newly instructing on a handgun?
You know, I think a lot of that depends on the instructor. Sandra, I tell people, and every person is different, every individual. Some people grasp firearms handling a lot quicker than others. The older you are, sometimes the harder it is to learn something new. And each person is individual. I think that every person has to decide at what point when they are tactically prepared and mentally prepared for the responsibility. And it is a huge responsibility to carry a gun in public places.
Jan, Leah Gabriel's here and wants to jump in.
So, Jan, you mentioned that the largest number of people who are purchasing guns now are women. When you say that, are those the ones buying them from licensed dealers and pawnbrokers? And the reason I ask is because according to a UC Davis study, it says that perhaps 40% of firearms acquisitions and at least 80% of those made with criminal intent are made from private parties where there's no identification that needs to be shown, no background checks conducted, the so-called gun show loophole that actually extends beyond just gun shows. You know, Hillary Clinton said we need to make it harder for people to acquire these weapons. Is she wrong?
Of course she's absolutely wrong.
Completely wrong?
Look, the answer... absolutely. The answer to eliminating mass murder in this country and defending life is not less guns, it's more guns in the hands of law-abiding citizens. And of course, a majority of the law-abiding citizens want to buy guns from registered federal firearms license facilities because they know, number one, everything is above board and legal. Number two, those guns are guaranteed. If something goes wrong, if something's not right, they don't have to track down someone from a gun show.
40% of all firearms acquisitions are made from private parties outside of the law, essentially. Isn't there a need to have more accountability for who is buying these firearms?
Well, no, you have to understand, when you say outside of the law, we're talking about two different things here. In America, you do not have to buy a gun from an FFL dealer for it to be legal. Private hand-to-hand sales, and no, I don't think that those should be registered. I don't think we should go to registration of all firearms because most people who've studied history know that registration leads to confiscation. That's not what we are in America. It's not what we ever were, and that's not where we're going.
All right, Jan, we got to leave it there. Smith & Wesson shares, Sturm Ruger, all seeing significant jumps, not just in recent trading, but over President Obama's 2 terms in office, substantial gains in those gun manufacturers and also ammunition makers. Jan Morgan, thank you for joining us and weighing in this morning.
Thank you.
Good to have you.